Okay, so now that we have set up all these cubes with all 6 Euler configurations, we're going to see how these cubes are going to behave if we do the same animation that we have been doing in these lessons. So go ahead and click on this cube, press the shift key down, click on this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. And now over here, we're going to first change this to individual origins, do Alt R to reset the rotation on all of them. Now here, you can keep this on a gimbal if you want and make sure that this is selected. Go ahead and go to frame 1 and do the middle mouse button to rotate your view. So we're going to press the I key to capture the starting rotation. Now go ahead and this time we're going to go to frame 20. Now press the R key, press the Y key, press the Control key down and rotate by 90. Now press the I key, go ahead and capture the rotation. Go to frame 40. Now press the R key, press the Z key, press the Control key down and rotate by 90. Press the I key, go ahead and capture the rotation. Go to frame 60. Press the R key, press the X key, press the Control key down and again just rotate this by 90. Press the I key and capture the rotation. Now what we're going to do is do the same thing. Go ahead and now take this to frame 80. Press the R key, press the Y key, press the Control key down and rotate this by 90. Press the I key, capture the rotation. Go to frame 100 over here. Now press the R key, press the Z key, press the Control key down and rotate again by 90. Press the I key, capture the rotation. Go ahead and now go to frame 120. Press the R key, press the X key, press the Control key down and rotate finally here by 90. Press the I key and go ahead and capture the rotation. Now just click over here to go to frame 1 and here we're going to go under File, do Save As, and we're going to save this as a rotation concepts 10.blend. Okay, so go ahead and click on this cube over here, zoom in and do Shift middle mouse button. Now what I want you to notice over here is that how these ring systems are going to be handled by Blender when we encounter Gimbal Lock and attempt to rotate these objects on a missing ring of rotation. And of course, take a look at these numbers because these numbers are exposing how these rings are rotating. So here we're just going to simply scrub on this timeline. So here we can see that we had rotated on the Y ring first, then we attempted to rotate on the Z axis, but Blender simply rotated this object on the X ring. Now when we attempt to rotate on a missing ring of rotation, of course the object is expected to wobble, right? Now the other thing here that you should note is that look at the last keyframe. This is the orientation of the object that we wanted it to be on this keyframe, right? So really there are two things going on here. We can understand why the wobble is happening, but we can understand also that this is how we want the object to end up at. Now here you can see that if we continue on, the object is actually going to rotate just fine. We're not going to encounter gimbal lock. But if we kept continuing on with this animation, we would, right? Because you can see here that the Y ring is back to the way it was. So if we rotate on Y, we're simply just aligning the X ring to the Z ring. So again, we're going to encounter that wobble. Go ahead and now take this to frame 1. Do Shift middle mouse button to pan over here. And now let's take a look at this cube. Now here, when we scrub the timeline, we can see that the object rotates fine. It rotates fine. And over here, we can see that the wobble is occurring. But we can see that there is no gimbal lock. Now the reason this is happening is because the gimbal lock is going to occur at the end keyframe. So you have to also keep that in mind, right? Sometimes you can see the gimbal lock and expect the wobble to happen. And sometimes you cannot see the gimbal lock because it's actually on the end frame. So that's pretty straightforward. Now again, same thing, if you keep scrubbing, it'll here just work fine, but if you kept continuing on, you will encounter that gimbal lock and that wobble. Now let's do shift middle mouse button and take a look at this object. Now here we're just going to scrub and see where the gimbal lock occurs. Okay, everything's working fine so far, and now it's wobbling, so this means that the gimbal lock is going to occur on the end frame. Okay, same concept, you can just continue on and then it'll just repeat that process. Now let's take a look at this object over here. Now here we'll start to scrub. Okay, fine, it works fine, works fine. Here we can see a gimbal lock, so we can see that, okay, yep, it's gonna wobble. That was expected behavior. Okay, now let's go ahead and take a look at this object. Let's start to scrub. Okay, we see a wobble, so let's see where the gimbal lock is occurring. Okay, so it occurred on the end frame over here. Okay, so that's expected behavior again. Now let's take a look at this object over here. We're going to scrub the timeline. Okay, we're getting a wobble, so we should expect. Okay, so here you can see that that was a tricky thing to see, but this is where the gimbal lock has occurred between the X and the Z ring. Okay, and that's how that is. Okay, so now that you have seen this, to make sense out of this, what we have to do is obviously give these objects a sense of purpose. This will make a lot more sense when we hit play on this, right? So over here, what you want to do is take a look at this object and look at the first axis. This means that this first axis, the ring of rotation, is really just attached to this object. So here I want you to press the tab key to go into edit mode, do W and subdivide, and over here to scroll up and click on this, switch to face select mode, click on this face and press the E key to extrude this out. Now when you press the tab key, okay, and now press the R key 2 times, you can see that how this ring system is making sense, because it's coming down to the same idea as an airplane or a turret system. We're going to do the same thing for this. Let's see how to handle this one. This again is showing the first axis to be the x-axis, so it's the same concept. Here we can just press the tab key to go into edit mode, do W subdivide, go ahead and click this, click on this phrase, press the E key and extrude it out. Press the tab key. Press the R key 2 times to just see that this is how this is going to work. Now let's take a look at this object. So the first axis is the Y ring, so this means that we should rotate kind of like this over here. Press the tab key to go into edit mode, do W subdivide, go ahead and click on this one, click on this phrase and press the E key to extrude this out. Press the tab key, now press the R key 2 times to see how this concept is working, right? It's aligned to the Y ring. Let's take a look at this object. It's same thing, Y. We can just do tab, W, subdivide, click on this, click over here, press the E key, and do this. Press the R key, right? So this should make sense again. Now let's take a look at this one. This is going to be the Z, so this is just going to be tab, into edit mode, do W subdivide, click over here, click this, press the E key and extrude this out, press the tab key, press the R key 2 times, and this makes sense, right? What it's doing. Go ahead and click on this, press the tab key, do W subdivide, click on this, click on this phrase, press the E key to extrude, press the tab key, press the R key 2 times, right? So now what we want to do is go ahead and just view this whole thing like this. Now what we want to do is take a look at these keyframes, right? We've only done it 120, but here we can actually change these keyframes to expand them over here very easily. Go ahead and open this up, go to the dope sheet. Now when you go to the dope sheet, you will see that it's showing the animations for all the objects. That's the idea, right? Now if we have this object selected, You can scroll through here and see that it's going to show up as white, and this is its action. Here we can actually even dig into the action and start messing around with that action, right? Press the period key to home in on it, so you can see all the keyframes. And here, of course, you can link to any other object's animation. Okay, now here we're just going to switch back to Dochi. Now here you can press the A key to deselect all the keyframes and press the A key to select. And depending on where you move this, here we're going to move it to frame 1. You can see that when we press the S key, we can change the location of all these keyframes. So here we're just going to expand it out and bring it close to, let's say, around maybe 250. It doesn't have to be perfect, just bring it around here. Now we can click on play. Okay, and actually I'm going to pause this and I'm going to select all these objects so we can actually see them being animated. It's just a way to highlight them really quickly. Okay, now click on play. So you can see that now that we've given these objects a sense of purpose, this ring system, when these objects are being animated, makes a lot more sense. Okay, now here you can hover your mouse and press the T key and change this to linear if you want, change this to Bezier, change this to bounce, and change this to elastic, or change this to back. Right, so the back, all that simply is doing is when it gets to the keyframe, it just has a little bit of inertia. Right, and then you can experiment with these concepts. Here I'm just going to keep this on Bezier. Okay, so now go ahead and switch this to the graph editor. So here you can see that here if we hover our mouse, press the period key, these are all of the curves, right? And these are all your objects over here. Same concept. And you can, of course, change how these objects behave. If you click on pause, let's say we click on this object, take a look at one of its curves over here, open this up. Let's say we look at the X over here, which is going to be this red. You can click these keyframes, right? You can change this. This is how you would be changing the object's animation, modifying it on its Y Euler rotation. These again here are the degrees it's changing. These are your frame numbers, right? You can click this to make it a smoother animation. So here I just wanted you to see, I'll just briefly look at this. So again, you can press the period key to home in on that selected free frame, or you can press the A key to select everything and just press the period key to zoom out of everybody. And here all the speaker thing does is simply shuts off. So here what we can do is, let's say for this object, shut off the Y rotation. Now when you click on play, you will see that this object is no longer going to rotate on the Y data. See, it just stays still. It's only rotating on the Z ring and the X ring. So this is a very powerful graph editor. So here we're just going to switch back to Dochi over here. Okay. Anyways, let's go ahead and switch, pause this and collapse that. And here we can simply go ahead and select all of these objects over here and just position the view like this. And here, just do a final save. So I'll see you in the next lesson. Thank you.